So this video might be a little bit all over the place, but it's going to look at vampire mythology. Recently I was lucky enough to witness a ritual dance which is meant to ward off vampires and werewolves whilst in Sofia in Bulgaria. Now obviously everyone knows the traditional methods of warding off a vampire, so it could be garlic or the crucifix. But you wouldn't think that dancing necessarily would keep them at bay. But that's exactly what these Kolodari dancers are doing in central Sofia. This dance is called the Koleda Vein. And the ritual is also performed in neighbouring countries as well. And it's not actually Bulgaria's only association with vampires, because in 2012 this skeleton was found in the Black Sea port of Sozopol with a stake through its heart. The tradition obviously goes that a stake through a heart can stop the undead from rising. So vampire mythology is widespread throughout the world, from places such as Mesopotamia and ancient India to Hebrew traditions and ancient Greece with the Strigas and the Lamia, but also in the predatory sirens, which some say lured sailors onto the rocks to feast on them. And there's a similar undead mermaid type creature which exists in Slavic mythology in the form of the Rusalka. In medieval times, vampire belief increased dramatically in southeastern Europe and particularly in the Habsburg territories, and approached mass hysteria at times. And there are also tales of revenants in England. The sort of cliched idea now that vampires could transform into bats and other creatures and sort of hang around in graveyards was a result of an amalgamation of various different parts of Eastern European folklore by people such as Bram Stoker and other authors. And of course this was demonstrated in Bram Stoker's most famous work, Dracula, who's named after Vlad Dracul, or Vlad the Impaler. And he and other authors also lent heavily on the antics of Elizabeth Bathory, the so-called Blood Countess, who was said to bathe in the blood of young girls to maintain her youthful looks. She was said to have begun her reign of terror behind this very door in Vienna. And the advent of film saw features such as Nosferatu, which was made in 1922, see Max Schreck as Count Orlok, which was effectively an unofficial adaptation of Dracula. And as well as the unofficial, there have been many renditions of Count Dracula himself, such as featuring Bela Lugosi as the character in 1931, shown here. Vampire legends have continued right up into the modern day and aren't just a thing of films and ancient history, as the Highgate vampire case showed. The London Evening News of the 2nd of November 1968 reported, on the night of Halloween 1968, a grave desecration by persons unknown occurred at Tottenham Park Cemetery in London. These persons arranged flowers taken from graves in circular patterns with arrows of blooms pointing to a new grave, which was uncovered. A coffin was opened and the body inside disturbed, but their most macabre act was driving an iron stake in the form of a cross through the lid and into the breast of the corpse. The motive for the desecration was thought to be linked to the Highgate vampire case. A letter appeared in the Hampstead and Highgate Express on the 6th of February 1970, in which a David Farrant wrote that when passing the cemetery on the 24th of December the year before, he had glimpsed a grey figure which he considered to be supernatural, and asked if others had seen anything similar. Scenes reminiscent of the medieval Habsburg hysteria of old. People said they'd seen a wide variety of ghosts and other spectral activity. Thank you for watching. Please like, share and subscribe.